Welcome to the Ghost of Christmas edition of the Scare Guy. Glad you guys are joining us tonight. This week we discussed that big, shocking moment from The Walking Dead mid-season finale with some very special guests we think you guys will recognize tonight. Also, we're going to be talking about this new craze of haunted Christmas attractions, kind of crazy, and we give you our picks for the very best of 2017 in horror. Glad you guys are joining us tonight.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
All right, everybody. This is the Ghost of Christmas Present version of the Scare Guy tonight. We are counting down. Christmas is just a couple of weeks away, and we have a lot of really good guests on the show tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us at thescareguy.com, where we cover all the cool, scary, fun stuff, the scary side of the Con Guy, which is our sister brother network, whatever we call it. My name is Jim. I'm the managing editor of The Scare Guy. You can find me at Con Guy Jim, and I would love to introduce some great guests we have with us tonight.
Hi, my name's Derek. I'm a contributing writer to theconguy.com, and you don't find me, I find you. Just kidding. I am on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
Yes, I'm Jill Roby, and you can find me at thelivingrishon.com.
And I'm Brandon Orban Griggs, also from thelivingrishon.com.
These guys are the ones who won last year's season of the Talking Dead Ultimate Fans. We are so glad to have you guys with us tonight to be talking about the mid-season finale for the Talking Dead Walking Dead this year.
Yeah,
so great.
for having us.
And we have the Ultimate Fans Ultimate Fan with us tonight.
Woo! My name is Candy Ford. I'm originally a friend of Jill's. I'm now a friend of Jill and Brandon, aka Rashon and Rick. I was there when the whole magic happened, and I'm very happy for them, and I was very supportive of them being on the show, and I was so happy when they made it. I already knew they were going to make it.
Candy, thanks for joining us tonight. We're so excited to have you with us.
And I'm Cheeseman on the couch. You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyLuke. There it is. Hello. Cheeseman on the couch here, and I follow you, too. No. You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyLuke and on thescareguy.com.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We do have a lot to talk about tonight on the show. Again, the very first thing we're going to talk about tonight, besides the crazy fires that are probably the scariest thing in Southern California right now, we're going to talk about that mid-season finale, and we just will warn you up front. We'll talk a little bit spoiler-free, but we are going to jump into spoiler territory because we have a lot to talk about tonight. That was quite a show. It
would be impossible to talk about it without having spoilers.
I know. Do you remember? I mean, after that happened, it was hard to remember almost anything else in that episode. That was just, bam, gut punch. And then we're going to talk about some of those haunted attractions that are springing up all over the country, if not all over the world. And you have some opinions about, like, it's been around for a while anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, of course, we're going to talk about our picks for the best of 2017. So, first of all, what has been going on with you guys? Jill and Brendan, you guys have been here with us a couple of times, but you guys have been keeping busy, and you guys have a great site.
Thank you.
Tell us about your site.
Well, it's brand new. It's made by me. I have no web development experience, so it's probably not that great. But
It's got a logo.
It's got a logo. It's primarily about Walking Dead related stuff, but we're probably gonna expand it out and talk about other things as well.
Expanded universe.
We talk about other shows and things as well and do reviews. I'm a writer, obviously, and he's a marketer, so we're just
mostly in the horror genre for the movies, but also just like really good TV shows.
Yeah.
Because there's not a ton of great ones out there, so we talk about the ones that are worth talking about.
And we'll be doing live reactions to Punisher while The Walking Dead's taking a break.
Hiatus.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Have you guys been watching Punisher yet?
Just the first couple
Just the
of
first two. We've actually been saving it to binge once, now that it's on hiatus, The Walking Dead. What about you?
I haven't even seen any of it yet. I saw him
it's good.
I saw him on Daredevil, of course, but I can't wait to watch it. I heard that John Bernthal's just amazing.
Oh, he really is.
It's phenomenal. It's really nice to see him with his own show, because he was amazing on The Walking Dead, and his career kind of blew up after he left that show.
No, that one I was going to start, so I was going to check that out because I love him as an
great.
actor.
It's
definitely worth. Okay, awesome.
Oh, and Candy.
Yes, dear.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is your very first time on the couch here with us. You were telling me that you're a comedian and a voiceover actress as well.
Yeah, I fell into everything. So sometimes I feel like I'm not worthy of being amongst those who actually fight to do it and crave it and have this whole
She's so
passion
modest.
for it. No, it's true. I was waiting tables, and a lot of people like my jokes, and I'll make a very long story very short. Ended up doing stand-up from there. 9 months later, I was in Aspen. I won Best Stand-Up, got a development deal, came back from Colorado. I think it was a week later, I was in Ralph's, and a lady was behind me in line, and she said, "You got a great voice." I said, "Thank you." She said, "You ever do voiceover?" I said, "No." She said, "Want to?" I said, "Okay." So I was just falling ass backwards into everything. And I've been very lucky. I'm not shy, so it all worked out.
Well, shy people don't do well here on the show. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
She
having me.
just kind of fell into this show too, right?
Yeah. Jill asked me to come watch.
Well, Jill knew what she was doing. But
Yeah.
But
I'm very excited. Thank you.
We described you as the ultimate fan of the ultimate
Absolutely.
fans. And Mr. Producer, I think we have a couple of pictures that we sent in. If we can go ahead and show those.
Oh yeah.
So can you guys tell us what we're looking at here?
This was at the season 7 premiere at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, to which I did not have a ticket, but a bit of ambition got me in anyway. I was able
That's
to.
literally
Up there, Candy.
maybe 2 minutes after we met for the first time.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
You seem so comfortable.
my babies were growing up.
But what's the thing that's so cool is that you guys met there. You
Well, it was an Andrea cosplayer actually who came up to me and dragged me out of my seat and was like, "You have to go and take a picture with this amazing Michonne cosplayer over there, like
Right.
across the thing." And
Yeah.
so I.
And for those who are
was like,
just
okay.
listening, he's dressed as Rick in the picture.
Oh yeah, we're looking at
Yeah.
a picture of him dressed as Rick and her dressed as Michonne. So
Yeah. So, it was just like crazy. I met her kind of like publicly in front of everyone, and people like lined up to take pictures with us. And security like asked us to go sit down because I guess we were like blocking one of the exit things. And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. Don't kick me out of the premiere, please." And we ended up like hanging out later on that night, and we've been together ever since, pretty much.
that's fantastic. And we're looking at now a picture
yeah.
of you guys with Herschel
And Scott Gimple.
and Scott Gimble
Nice.
in front of an AMC step and repeat backdrop. What is this that we're looking at right here?
The
That's
season 8 premiere.
Season 8 premiere.
Yeah.
We kind of ran into Scott, and I was like, oh god, like I have to talk. Like as a writer, I love Scott Gimple, and I was like, I have to talk to him. I'm so nervous. And Scott Wilson just kind of photobombed us at first, and then he took a real picture.
It's quite a photobomb, I tell you.
there's another version of this. I don't know if he
Like-
probably doesn't have it, but
Like-
there's one from like right like a millisecond before that where when Scott like walked
He
by,
puts his,
I
like,
literally
head, like-
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, "Come back," because I was already trying to take a picture with Scott Gimple, and I was just like, "Oh, I need both the Scott." You know what I mean? Like I wanted them both in the photo. So thankfully he was
what's
nice.
pretty
and stopped.
amazing though, all this led to this next picture we have here.
Yeah.
Tell us how you guys got to this point.
Brandon's
Oh
mom.
yeah.
and the Roshone fandom. I have to
That's-
give a shout out to the Roshone fandom because they were a diligent, dedicated bunch who voted their asses up. They're behind.
Wait a minute, Candy.
And Candy.
Wait, you said you had something to do with this.
Oh my God, I voted like
She ran
crazy.
into somebody at a Ralph's that knew them, and you got a direct phone call and got them on the show, right?
Yeah, that's what happened. I didn't want to tell you here because I didn't want to feel like, I was throwing my weight around, but yeah, that's how it went down.
I knew I felt good for no
We
reason.
need to actually describe this picture for anybody
For,
who's
for those of you
just
who
hearing the audio.
For those of you who are just listening, there's a picture of them on The Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick as the host and Lauren
Cohen.
Cohen.
Alana
Lauren
Masterson.
Cohen.
And
Yeah.
I'm bad with the names.
Alana
here.
Masterson.
Okay.
Tara and Maggie.
I've got a glare right where Tara is, and I can't actually make her face out from here.
So they're standing there on the set with Chris Hardwick and Tara and Maggie from the show. So this was at the season finale this past year, correct?
Oh no, this was,
It was
the
like 2 episodes before it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All right.
think.
Okay.
Or maybe the episode before it. One of those two. Something like that.
And we were super stoked because we had met you guys before then, and it was kind of cool to say, oh, they won, they
And
won.
I knew it was going to happen.
Yep.
I knew. Well, I'm half
she,
Jamaican,
she was
so
actually there.
I was like, I was bringing it. The hoodoo and the judo.
I think I was actually the least confident person of all.
Yeah.
Like
He
in terms
definitely
of
was.
Well,
of
I saw,
winning.
no offense, but I saw the other, people, and they just weren't, they didn't, I don't know, they didn't put in the time that you guys put in, I didn't think. I don't think they just phoned it in as to what they did. You can't just have a shirt on that says Walking Dead and go, I'm the fan, and then you can't be a finalist like that. You guys just embodied every aspect of the show. the looks, the costumes,
The show
way.
brought us together.
Yeah.
Like,
When I first saw you,
Perfect
I
story.
thought you were Michonne. I said, look. And were we at Comic-Con? I think or maybe one of the local conventions here I saw
maybe
you.
Anaheim.
Oh, it was WonderCon.
Because we met, because I was dressed up like Abraham, and we got a picture
That's how
together.
we
'cause I had
we
the bat
met.
on
That's
the
right.
Stan Lee's Comic Con.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Stan Lee's.
Oh, you know what's so crazy? Both of you saw me at my old job. Like that's how I reconnected with Luke.
Yeah, like the
What?
very next day, we're like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, we both know each other out of costume, and then
Oh, I remember
you
you
told me
told
about
me
your
that,
blog
yeah.
and all that, and then that's how we stayed in
I met you
touch.
at the same counter, basically.
Oh
I'll say that.
God. That's hilarious.
Oh.
See, this was all meant to be. Then.
I feel like that job was great for
Yeah.
a career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris Hardwick still wants to marry you guys. I'm just putting
Yep.
that out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So, okay, your blog came up
Okay, I
again.
made everybody uncomfortable.
Can you tell us
Series finale.
Sorry.
some of the highlights from your blog lately? Because I saw some cool stuff, just some, I don't know if I'd exactly call it criticism, but some analysis of things that have been going on the last few episodes of the show.
I mean, part of it, I guess, like the first two things we put on there were just like a little bit about us, but then, yeah, I mean, it's meant to be mostly like a critical eye on, The Walking Dead for now, and then eventually other things. Just kind of like looking at like the psychology of a lot of the characters and whatnot, and just like looking at it almost on a micro level. Not
You did that piece on Negan.
right. Well, it's going to be like a multiple piece.
Which you kind of
so-
need that for a character like that.
Yeah, it was like too much to put in one post, so I'm gonna do a whole thing on Negan
We
actually,
have a
just
lot
because he's
this week coming
fascinating.
up.
Oh, I imagine.
God, yeah, especially after last night.
Yeah, it was interesting because I saw one piece where you were talking about how Michonne had been the voice of reason for so long, and then all of a sudden she's
Oh,
just
that
kind of
piece.
abandoning that and going with this, what you guys...
I read that too. Yeah.
Yeah, what you call Daryl's dumb plan. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay,
It
so
was a dumb plan.
So
Yeah.
we did a video about it, and I was very
Oh.
critical of Michonne, and some of the Michonne fans were not happy with me about it. So I had to explain. I broke down why I hold her to a higher standard, and
Right.
I felt like she definitely dropped the ball as like Rick's official second in command.
Yeah,
Like
she's the first lady.
yeah,
of the
the first
apocalypse,
lady
yeah.
of the apocalypse, and it's like that comes with responsibilities. It's not just a figurehead. And I think Daryl would have listened to her if she had said, "You know what, we're not going to do this. Like this, don't give him an option."
But then you were also saying that Rosita was the level-headed one.
Surprisingly, yeah,
Yeah.
because she's
kind of come around, you know.
Well, she
Well-
she circled back again. She doubled back, which was
she's
disappointing.
yeah, she's got a lot to make up for. I
Yeah.
mean, she's been like probably one of my least favorite characters the last 2 years, but she's redeeming herself slowly just because of the fact that she was the only person who noticed how dumb that plan was and tried to talk everybody out of it.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, can I ask why you thought it was a dumb plan?
Oh, Daryl's plan?
Yeah.
Rick laid it out clearly that, you don't want to antagonize the workers, which they did. Most of the workers died, not saviors, on that ground floor.
Okay.
And also, no one even alerted Rick that the plan had changed. Like, he's
Okay.
going to the trash people. You're leading him into a hole,
Which,
basically.
hello, that's also a terrible idea. The trash.
Yeah. Well, it's a terrible idea in itself, but then it's
They
like...
never turn out helpful. It doesn't seem.
She's such a wimp for a 6'1". You know?
Okay.
I don't
Fragmented
like.
sentence.
I don't
lady.
trust her haircut. I just don't. Sorry.
Controversial opinion, but I feel strongly that she is the Jar Jar Binks of the Walking Dead universe. She's tall. She talks funny. You can't trust her. She's no use. And it is no fault of the actor.
But she
it's just the way the
paints.
character's developed.
Pollyanna's actually
In real life, she's really cool.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
really
yeah,
nice, yeah.
So
And her performance is great.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
My
because
problem is with how it's written. And I'm like, why would you trust her?
We are going to get to that. We're going to put a
Anyway.
pin in this right now.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
Joey
Sorry about
Ramone's
that.
daughter.
And real quick before, and I feel as if maybe I'm not registering the microphone all the
we?
way, but real quick before we jump into the Walking Dead mid-season finale, I keep on wanting to say season finale.
I know.
Was it
I
the
mixed that up too.
mid-season finale? Derek, here on the show, we like to let everybody know about some cool experiences, conventions, and horror things you guys can attend. So, Derek, if you can kind of go down, there's surprisingly a whole
Yeah.
lot happening.
A lot of stuff this time of year. So actually, this is starting in the new year.
Yeah, this is kicking off in the new year. I think
Right.
we're kind of finished. There are a few things left throughout the year, but it's Christmas. Let's wait until next year.
All right, so beginning first, there's Hauntland, January 12th to 15th in New Orleans.
Or
What, New Orleans or New Orleans or New Orleans?
What's the best way
Yeah.
to who knows how to pronounce it
I
correctly?
don't know.
Nolans.
I don't know.
Nolans, here we go.
Nolans, that's it. I'm from West Virginia. Walker Stalker Cruise to Cozumel is January 26th to 30th, which has, of course, there are also tons of Walker Stalker cons all over the place, but this is the cruise.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
actually a bunch of them coming up. I just
Zombie
thought
cruise.
that one sounded the most interesting.
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool.
Go
And
look
then,
at the pictures. Blow your mind.
oh, I want to see it. Days of the Dead is February 2nd through 4th in Atlanta, Georgia, followed by Mad Monster Party, February 16th to 18th in Charlotte, North Carolina, which if you're looking for something to get your sweetheart for Valentine's Day, you know. Anyway, New Jersey Horror Con and Film Fest, March 2nd to 4th. Monster Mania Con is March 9th through 11th in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Horror Hound Weekend is March 23rd to 25th in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I think Jake's going to. Is Jake going to Horror Hound? Cheeseman
He's from Ohio.
on the couch.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, and then Monster Palooza is April 13th to 15th right over here in Pasadena, California.
Right here in Pasadena.
Pasadena, as they used to say
Pasadena.
on K-Rock.
Is there really?
Yeah, Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Oh my gosh! And
Now
for those
we
of you
know.
who don't know, this show is actually produced here in Hollywood, so we are very close to Pasadena. But we are also very close to one of the scariest things that I've experienced since being here in Southern California, which is these fires. It just kind of exploded
crazy.
last week. We, me and Cheese were with some friends, and we drove by them up to Santa Barbara this past weekend. I've never seen anything like that. It's like as far as the eye could see in both directions, everything was on fire.
Oh wow.
And the smoke would go for like miles and miles and miles. It's crazy.
Yeah, so true story. Like we're from San Diego, but San Marcos is the actual name of the town that I live in. The fires got all the way down there, like 100
Yep.
miles away, and actually was within like 3 miles of our house with the evacuation line. So when all this stuff started happening, I was like looking out my window every 5 seconds.
Wasn't it
It
crazy?
spans that much. It's crazy.
The entire southern part of California is on fire right now.
pretty
I heard
much.
this evening on the radio it's actually larger than the city of New York.
Twice,
Oh, wow.
twice
Yeah.
as large as New York is what
That's
I heard.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So pray for rain.
Pray for rain. Pray,
Yeah.
Those guys, 6,300 firefighters are on the ground now.
Like they enlisted the military also in
Yeah.
San Diego to use their helicopter to drop water as well.
Oh, are they using the military? Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
I've never seen that before.
I heard that there's some. There's a guy, he independently outfitted a 747 to drop water, and he is like now contracted with the state to start flying it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're just like pulling out all the stops to try to get this thing out. The fire just keeps burning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just keeps burning. Now we were talking, but again, one more thing before we jump into The Walking Dead. I know we want to talk about that, but one of the cool things. This is our Ghost of Christmas episode, which means Christmas is just like 2 or 3 weeks away, depending on when you're watching the show. But one of the cool things here that we were noticing on the Scare Guy, and Kari is not with us tonight. She is actually rehearsing for a show that she is kind of helping to produce over in Burbank. Comes up in a couple weeks. All the haunted houses that we all loved around Halloween, seems like they're all back for Christmas. They have all these Christmas versions of these haunted houses. For example, and have you guys heard about this? In Chicago, the 13th floor haunted house presents Krampus, a haunted Christmas for 2 nights only, December 8th and 9th, which we just missed. All right, so New York, Chamber of Horrors, New York is transforming their 200 attractions into a Christmas horror extravaganza. Bedford, Texas, the Moxley Manor Haunted House brings you our 8th annual Night Scare Before Christmas Haunted House. Riverside, California, by us, Sinister Point and Live Nation are teaming up to do Twisted Christmas down at the Riverside Municipal Auditorium. And then Portland, Oregon, the Portland Haunted House in Portland is presenting Krampus, a Haunted Christmas. Now, is this something new that I have been missing? Because I've never heard of all these haunted houses at
neither
Christmas
have I.
before.
It's a European thing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
Really?
this is actually a big thing in Germany and Austria that's been going on for quite a while. I think like more than a decade, or not a century is what I meant to say.
Really?
And so like they're just kind of doing the same thing here. It looks like, which I'm all in favor
It makes
of.
a lot of sense because there's a lot of Christmas horror films
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
You just Google Krampus Germany.
Yeah.
Like all these pictures pop up of like them going down like streets and festivals, all dressed up like Krampus. This
We had a
demon.
Krampus run in downtown LA this past week.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Avera, who has been a guest on our show, you know, the big makeup guy who was like Frankenstein, he's in Austria right now, or last week, and he was at a Krampus festival, and he got whipped. they just come out and whip you.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Okay,
out
me
there.
and Jill probably not down with that.
Does he dress as
We're
Krampus?
just not, I don't even need to walk that out to you, do
like- I guess
There will
it's
be
like,
no whipping of the black women. There will be none.
but what were you saying about
I was
like?
gonna say, well, it seems that there are a lot more. It seems like there are a lot more of these Krampus parties just in the last few years. I don't know if I'm imagining that, or maybe I'm just noticing it more because there was a movie called Krampus
Maybe
a couple years ago.
Krampus Haunted House or at Universal.
Krampus
Orlando.
is like the anti-Santa,
Santa, yeah,
right?
like
or
the
anti
devil Santa.
He's like the
And
devil.
he
He's
eats
like the
children.
demon Santa.
Okay, and he eats children.
He punishes children for being bad. I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what he's
or-
supposed to do.
Naughty.
Something like that. Yeah.
Which Bob's Burgers, their Christmas special or their Christmas episode was just this week, I think, and they had a kind of a tribute to Krampus. They called it the Bleakin, but
Would there be better children in the world if they feared Krampus more?
I
Yeah,
think that's
maybe.
what the original idea
Yeah.
was. Yeah, and then it somehow like evolved into adults going to costume parties.
Yeah,
Less spoiled kids and more obedient kids.
It's great for cosplayers like us.
Well, Jill and I don't mean to separate us constantly, but we have black mamas. We good. We good. We got it. We got in no Krampus.
you don't need Krampus.
No, we don't need Krampus. When you got black parents, you all right.
Hey, my mom spanked me quite a bit when I was younger.
Can she reach you around
I-
corners though?
I think that one crossed racial boundaries. I was just a bad kid. That's all there is to it. But nothing like my brother Scott. Never mind.
yeah, we should move on.
I'll hear
back
that
to
from
the
you later.
horror topic.
I'm curious.
Talk about that
Oh,
after
sorry.
the show.
Not the thing, not just these things that terrorized us as children, but
But I am going to put a list of a lot of these haunted Christmas attractions on the website, and I would love to see what people think about these. I have never gone to one. I think I might try one out this year, just to see what it is. It almost ruins Christmas a little bit for me, but it's
Really?
Where's one now?
Because Christmas needs to be happy and jolly, but I guess Santa Claus, a guy sneaking into your chimney, in the middle of the night, that's kind of creepy anyways.
kind of.
Where would there be one here?
There's one down Riverside, Sinister Point, which is a big haunted house down in Riverside, California.
Well,
Okay.
honestly, I'm surprised there aren't more like the escape rooms. One of the ones I did was kind of like a murder scene, which is so fascinating. Like I would love like an escape haunted house thing. It'd be terrifying, but I feel like that shouldn't be. That should go beyond Halloween, or at least maybe that's.
Let
just
me
me.
walk this back. I love Halloween and I love
Me
everything
too.
scary because it's the scare guy. I love everything about it. So maybe this is something that I'm gonna really enjoy. You say we've been telling haunted ghost stories at Christmas around the
Yeah, I mean,
campfire for
it was
years.
a tradition. Like, I mean, A Christmas Carol didn't exist in a vacuum. It was a thing that they did
Right.
back in the day, telling ghost stories at Christmas.
Yep.
I'm all for this. Anything that furthers cosplaying and stuff. Obviously, I'm kind of biased, but I'm all for a second Halloween. It's by far the best holiday of the entire year.
Well, it's
so.
kind of like The Nightmare Before Christmas, the classic Tim Burton
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Halloween is now encroaching on Christmas, and Christmas is having to fend it off. So let's gonna see what's gonna win at the end. You know how like sometimes holidays mix together and they end up being something else. We'll see what we get.
But there's one in the Midwest. I don't remember where it is, but you have to sign a release. You have to sign a form
Yeah.
that you won't sue them for psychological distress. Seriously,
I think
and
we
you
have
have
to do that too for the
and you
escape
have to
room.
go through a loan.
Oh really?
Now they'll give you a safe word, believe it or not.
Oh, my
And-
gosh.
Yeah, and you can.
That's
I saw it on
hardcore.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
It's hardcore, but you
Yeah.
have to go through by yourself. But if you give the safe word, they'll pull you back.
This last
Oh my
last
God.
summer at Midsummer, it was either Midsummer Scream or LA. It was at LA Scare. They had some guys there showing a documentary about some of these haunted experiences, and I think they featured that one.
Okay,
Because
it's in Midwest, I think.
I think so. A lot of people in the country were getting upset with some of these more extreme haunted houses because you're putting all the rest of us at risk because the liability that because they pick you up, they drag you and they throw you down in holes and cover you up with dirt and they do all kinds
You're
of
actually
crazy stuff.
touched and grabbed, which is, but they tell you up front.
You are dragged around,
Yeah.
tied up.
And then you have to sign a form saying you won't sue them. So, I mean, it's all on you at that point.
I'm not sure I'd be
Okay.
game for that.
What happens if they die of a heart attack and
No,
their family sue them?
Last year that
No.
happened. A guy died of a heart attack at one of these
wow.
attractions. But what their defense was, he was in poor health before he came.
Okay.
But then why did you let him go through this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that seems. Oh, jeez.
so
I
it's
mean, usually
crazy.
attractions like that, they'll have all these warnings out there. Like,
Merry Christmas.
Anyway.
I just
It's the same thing with Heart Attack Grill in Vegas. There's a place called Heart
Oh,
Attack
right,
Grill.
the big
Yeah.
burger. Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they put you in a hospital gown before you eat. And if you drop dead there, it's on you. They tell you.
If you can finish the burger, you get a free meal.
Yeah, and they have a weight outside, and their highest burger is like 10,000 something calories.
Yeah,
and
it's like 20
their
patties,
milkshakes,
and it's crazy.
their milkshakes have a little lard in them, I hear, which makes them. You don't taste it, but it makes the texture better. So they tell you everything.
So it's worth dying for?
You know what? I'd
To
give
some
it a
people.
shot. Yeah, but if
it's at least
a
worth the
couple
risk,
people have
I
already
guess.
tried to sue and didn't go anywhere. So
All right.
sorry, I'm making it morbid each time.
That's all. Hey, that's our show.
Oh,
that's
okay.
our show.
About death. and
That's
the
a
dead and
comedian's
the walk-
mind. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'll try to keep it in.
All right, so The Walking Dead season 8 mid-season finale. It was one for the record books, I think. And I'm going to tell everybody out there right now, we'll talk for a few minutes without any spoilers, but then we'll let you know right when we're going to start kicking into those spoilers.
Spoiler
so,
alert.
right up. Wait, let's stop. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I was just gonna say,
I don't know
think
what we're
we-
going to talk about without giving the
There's,
spoiler
there's
alert.
nothing we can talk
It's-
about without spoilers.
I have
Yeah.
no idea how we can discuss.
Spoiler alert.
Thank you. There we go.
That's awesome.
There it is. Flash
All right.
those lights.
All right, so we are going to. There we go.
There we go.
All right, we are going.
Awesome.
So, Jill, Brendan, can you guys tell us a little bit what happened last night? What did we see?
Saw our dreams crash and burn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's technically not confirmed yet, but we saw what looks to be the end of Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
The only other
Carl.
original character from the pilot,
From the pilot.
besides Rick, who is still on the show.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, Glenn was episode 2, right?
Yeah, well, his voice was in the end.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
And,
Well,
and
but
one of the original.
Was Lori
5 or
already
6.
pregnant at that point, though?
probably it's possible.
I'm just saying.
Probably.
So
When did Daryl
technically,
appear?
who's
Baby.
Judith?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh,
Which episode was Daryl?
It's 2.
That's 2.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was pretty shocking. I mean, I actually thought that he was one of the only characters that they would never
An
kill,
untouchable,
just
yeah.
because, like,
Yeah.
they need people
The
who are going to
father-son
live to grow up.
relationship,
Yeah.
and-
Well, yeah, he's the heir to the throne,
Yeah.
or he was. Not
Yeah.
Shane Jr. No offense, but
is this a big departure from the comic book? Because I haven't
It's a
read it.
major, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still in the comic books.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is, like, totally different just for the show.
I think they deliberately wanted to go away. They're trying to shake free a little bit of the comic books.
Or someone wanted to go to college.
no,
Well, he's
he
taking
actually
a
gave an
break.
interview with the
Yeah.
Hollywood
Oh, he
Reporter.
did.
I read
and he
that
was
today.
like,
He didn't want to go.
Yeah.
He was stunned. Like Scott called him in and his parents, and they're like, "Well,
They told him 2 episodes before.
yeah,
He
2
didn't
episodes
wanna go.
before,
Wow.
yeah."
It seemed
Okay.
like he was pretty desperate to get that out to the public, too, because he was, like, literally the second the episode ended, his social media accounts, like, tweeted out that article, like, a minute later. I mean, he was,
Wow.
like, sitting there, like, "Ugh."
He didn't want to. He
did
didn't want to
not
be
wanna
perceived
leave.
that he was leaving the show to go to
Exactly.
college. Because somebody was on our show this past year said, "Hey, Carl got accepted into college. I guess that means we know who the next one to go is." And somebody said that on the show here.
We've been hearing stuff like that for a long time, but I honestly didn't think really much of it because he also moved to well, the first thing he moved to LA, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's moving away. They must be killing him off." I'm like, Andrew Lincoln lives in England half the year.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Well, he's taking a break from college, and then he's doing music, I hear. But what does he do in music?
He's a
He's a
I don't
musician
know.
of some sort. Yeah,
Okay.
you're
No
right.
idea.
You're right. But yeah, he just bought a house down there in
in
Atlanta.
Sonoya, yeah,
Or yeah, Sonoya. Is that what it's called?
yeah,
What's it called?
Sonoya.
Sonoya.
Yeah, that's how
Yep,
you say
yep,
it.
yep. That's what it is.
Okay.
But it was interesting reading. I think I may have read the same article. Like he was.
Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, I think it was like he was very surprised. It was a lot of. They asked him a lot of questions, but it was interesting that he was really trying to salvage his character, and he also felt as if Carl was being groomed to be like the
Yeah.
the-
And that- yeah.
and like Yvette Nicole Brown says, anytime somebody becomes the moral center of the show, bam!
Yeah, he
they-
totally gave like a Herschel speech, and I was like, oh god.
So he just
And then-
bought a house,
yeah.
and then he found out he wasn't on the show anymore?
roughly.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
I suspected it the entire time because they started off with this moment with him and Rick, and I'm like, they're kind of doing.
Yeah.
And
They're
also,
prepping him kind of
The letter.
that nice moment. The
Well, when he-
letter.
no,
when
no,
he's-
the first episode this season, Michonne's like, this is your show, and I was like,
Yeah, and he also had a line at the beginning of last episode where he's like, "We just have to survive tonight," and I'm like, "Oh God,
Yeah.
that's horrible foreshadowing."
Terrible thing to say.
But I guess everybody. But I didn't realize till later when at the beginning of the episode he's writing the letter because he knows he's about to turn.
Yeah.
He knows that he's been bitten.
Yeah.
Because he got bitten
With
an
Sadiq.
episode
He
or
got-
two ago, right?
With the guy in the
Yeah.
woods.
Which
Right.
was,
Yeah.
Okay,
which
so it already happened
really
sooner.
pissed me off because that's such a dumb way to get bitten.
Yeah.
How
I'm
do you-
sorry.
How do you think Rick's gonna react when he finds out that Carl was bitten because of this guy?
We were talking about that last night. I'm not really sure because it's like there's two different ways it could go. He could maybe be really mad at Sadiq, or he might blame himself
gonna blame
because
himself.
if it weren't for the fact that he had to scare Sadiq off, Carl wouldn't have had to go back for him.
Yeah.
So
good one.
I don't know
Yeah.
which way it's gonna go.
That scene where he's like crying and he says, "My mercy
my
overcomes
my mercy
I think that-
overcomes my wrath.
I think that's Rick reading Carl's letter. Like,
It's the line from
Oh.
Sadiq.
So-
That's the first thing that Sadiq tells Carl is the saying that his mom used to teach him from the Quran.
yeah.
Can you remind me when we heard Rick saying that line? Was it this?
It's the first
The season
episode of the
premiere.
season.
That's right. Oh, is it when
He's
his
like-
eyes
Yeah,
were red?
but
He's
you-
like on a porch or something.
There's a
There's
stained glass
like,
window
Okay.
up here,
Yep.
but it doesn't show any of like what's going on.
we
He
don't know
just-
what that is.
He
Yeah,
sort of
it's one of those
chuckles and
moments.
says that line to himself. So I'm assuming he's like standing over Carl's grave, probably.
Oh man, I bet you. That makes a lot of sense.
That's what it seems like, at least. Because I mean, I'm assuming that he obviously figures out that that line came from Sadiq. I don't think Rick's gonna like just all of a sudden by himself start reading lines from the Quran. So he's gonna make the connection somehow that way.
No matter what the mood is, Rick always looks like he getting ready to drop the baddest ass CD ever. Every position's with that gun, something behind him. He's looking up. It's like, yeah, coming to you.
Well, let me ask you this, because and I was also reading this. Michonne has also developed an intense relationship with Carl, almost like her own son. Or how is this going to affect her? Do you think?
She was already kind of coming apart at the seams when she saw the destruction of Alexandria.
Oh my
like
gosh, that
having
was
a home was the biggest thing for her.
Right.
And Carl is also, he's definitely like that's her son. That's her son.
And he wanted to
She's-
destroy it so the Saviors wouldn't have anywhere to go. right?
Yeah, I
guess.
I feel like Michonne might actually take it harder than Rick in certain
Yeah.
respects. But she's already pretty vulnerable right now.
Do you think that he knew that that she knew that he loved her as much as he did before he said, "I would do it for you"?
Before
Remember?
he said that,
Yeah, before. Remember on the porch?
right?
Oh, that's right.
right before the mints in the couch.
Yes.
I
Bang,
I,
chicka, wham, wham.
I don't know. I think they had a quiet understanding because when she tells him about Andre all the way back at the season finale of season 4, and they had that moment in the forest, and he's like, "I'm just another monster," and they have this moment. I don't know that she understood that he felt that way until he said it, but she definitely felt that way for him. Like when she told Rick, "I'm not taking any more breaks," like that was like finalizing their
Right.
unit. So that's
Well, now it's time for her and Rick to make a baby.
Rashawn Jr.'s needs to
Give
happen,
him
yeah.
a son.
Actually, so that brings up like another thing though, because the fact that he dies. Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's gonna die. That going back to the first episode again, that like flashback or flash forward or whatever
Whatever
it
it
was,
was,
with-
yeah.
where
Rick.
he's old. That means that wasn't real because
Right.
Carl was in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that means it's not. That maybe it's like a
Oh.
fantasy or something. They said that it wasn't a dream, but that to me is not confirmation that
Are you
it's
suggesting
not real.
that The Walking Dead would give us wasted scenes and actually air them?
I'm suggesting that they said it's not a dream, but they didn't say it's not a fantasy.
My concern is that that's Rick. Okay, so Rick is the only one who looks old as dirt. He's
Yep.
all decrepit and bald, and he's missing a tooth. And like Carl is. Like,
I thought he
the
had a
same-
mullet, didn't he?
Yeah, like I don't know
It
what
was
that
A
is.
weird white mullet.
It was
It
a
was
weird
terrible
mullet,
to
yeah.
do that to
A
that
short
man's
one,
hair.
right?
It's
Yeah.
from the comic.
Andy's got a
That's-
gray head of hair. That's just not right. But Judith is like what, maybe 8 or
Yeah,
something.
it's like
Yeah.
hardly
Michonne,
any, like
yeah.
he aged like worse than a
Yeah,
president.
so
you know,
I'm
in
wondering
4
if that's like
years.
I think it might be like an afterlife scene. Like Rick is the last one to go, and he's just waking up
Oh.
into.
And in heaven, they play Weird Al.
Well,
Exactly.
so here's why I don't think it's that is because the cane that he's using. The reason why he's got a cane is because like in the comic he sustains a broken leg during a fight with Negan.
That's right.
So I find it hard to imagine.
I-
I find it hard to imagine that he's like in heaven and his leg isn't fixed.
That's a raw deal.
I think Scott's made it clear that he wants to take a dump on the comics. So like, we can't really say what happens in the comics anymore because obviously he does not like he's gonna tell the story that makes the most sense.
I think that's the reason why, a big reason why they decided to do something like this is because it may have been getting too predictable. Like I think that people, maybe like the comic book people, were starting to be able to figure it out.
Oh,
And they'd
And
spoil it.
this just throws a monkey wrench into everything so much that everybody's gonna be like, I have no idea what's going on.
not even
now.
that, but the comic fans pressured the show so much to kill Glenn horribly, like in the comics, and then people were like, "Oh, you killed Glenn so horribly, like in the comics." So
Yeah,
I
for it.
think that they're probably like, why are we listening to these people and doing what's in the comics, because it's not going to make them happy either
Right.
way.
Right.
So just tell the story you want to tell, which I think they should definitely.
It's a
keep doing.
ballsy move.
And that's what I love about writers. I'm supposed to
Scott
be
Gimple's got some
witness
stones,
to your
man.
mind and what you want to do. And that's why I'm really happy that one of my good friends is a writer. And that's why you find me asking them so many questions.
What did you say about Scott Gimple?
Scott Gimple's got some stones, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's catching a ton of flack for this, I'm sure.
Yep.
Killing, I mean, it's not just a beloved character, but like the only kid on the show.
I know.
But that could really happen. That's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
It hurt me that
It
he's
could.
gone, but it could really happen.
Yeah.
And you don't expect it. So
And
that's
Carl's
real
been
life.
through it.
Carl's
Yeah.
tired.
He got shot in the chest way back on the
Lost an
farm.
eye.
He got
Yeah.
shot in the
Dies a
head,
little
lost an
bite.
eye.
Yeah.
And
Almost had his arm cut off in front of everyone.
Yeah.
he's had a time.
Didn't he
but,
tell Negan I'm dying anyway or something?
No,
like
he
that?
didn't
No.
say that. He
He-
said you can take me.
Oh,
That's what it's
okay.
gonna take.
Can we talk for a second? His
That was my favorite scene of the whole
Him and
episode.
Negan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was going on? Like Negan looked like that actually affected him
Yeah,
a little
got
bit.
it.
That was what.
Negan's Achilles heel is, sincerity and honestly, like he has this moment with Carl, he has this moment with Father Gabriel, and he has this moment with Sasha, and it's like he's still a human being too, even though
He just doesn't want anybody to know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and he definitely, I think Carl meant what he said, even though he was also delaying time. But Negan definitely, he was reaching him. Like, I think Negan, if it had been another 5 minutes, he would have had them put their weapons down.
I think there's also like an element of that Carl is sort of like the son that Negan never had type thing, because he treated him way differently right from the very beginning, and then he's made several comments, like even to Rick, about when he was pretending he was going to kill him in the last season at the end. He's like, if I had a son, I would want my son to be just like your kid, which is why this is going to be so hard. Like, he always says stuff like that.
Yeah, Negan's definitely
Well,
gonna take this on the chin.
If you said the son that he never had, we don't know a lot about Negan's past, do we?
Not yet, but I mean,
I want that.
I want to see his
We
past.
will.
I
We
want
will.
to see that.
What's
on
the
his
deal
own
with the
bottle of-
bandage? What's going on with the bandage? That's what I want to know.
What, did he have a
He always,
bandage
he
on?
always has a bandage
I
on
don't
his
think
arm.
there's an explanation for that in the comic, actually. Maybe there is. I don't know.
I think he's covering up a tattoo of Lucille, whoever she is.
Oh, that would be kind of
okay.
cool.
That's what I think. He doesn't want to look at it.
I was just gonna say he probably has carpal tunnel because he did data entry for the DMV before the apocalypse happened.
And he's using that same hand to swing the bat, just like this. Over and
That's
over.
why he's so angry.
I was just gonna say that explains so much about his like inferiority complex.
All right.
I think he played in Good Charlotte, but because they all wore the bandanas and
Okay,
stuff.
that's a
so-
good
You
theory.
never noticed the
Yeah.
bandage? Nobody?
Yeah,
I've never
it.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's never off.
Scott,
It's
if you're
never
listening,
off.
you're allowed to take any of these theories and make them
Yes,
reality,
yes,
please.
that's fine.
There's got to be a I've never noticed. I'm gonna go back and look at some
Yeah.
of those episodes. Oh, that's something. Something has happened
Hand
to him.
is constantly wrapped up. It's all the way to here.
Yep.
Like.
Can I ask you what about Iron Face? What?
Oh, Dwight.
Oh,
Dwight. What do you think about his?
I like that name though.
Well, no, he put an iron
Right.
on his face. Yeah.
Iron Face.
So, what do you think about his change? Is he really changed of heart? Is he?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Especially when he aimed the gun at his own people.
Yeah, he killed 3 of them.
Yeah, he
3
did.
saviors. I think he gave up that whole savior business once Sherry left.
I do
He
too.
didn't have
Yeah.
any reason.
He had no stake in the game after that. And
Yeah.
to me, I mean, his personal motivations and his rage towards Negan with the fact that, he took his wife from him and then he, like, flaunted it in front of him and, like, makes out with her in front of him and all this stuff.
She
Like, he's-
liked it.
And, yeah, I mean, he's been like, put through more psychological
Okay.
torture than, like, anybody else.
I agree.
So he had a reason to want him dead, and that's why I kind of believed him
Yeah.
right off the bat.
But
Actually.
what was
I
the
want him
be-
dead too.
What was the best part of that? Daryl? Do you remember what Daryl did?
Oh, he took the
Oh,
back.
the jacket.
Doesn't even
I was
say
wondering.
anything.
I
just
was
yanks
wondering
it
that
back.
a while ago. I'm like,
That jacket
okay,
was
so why
everything.
didn't he give him his jacket back? Like, I'm here. I want Negan dead. And all that. And he's
I
like,
think the only
"Okay,
reason he
give me
didn't
his
kill
vest
him right
back."
then
it
is
was a
because
cold
he's
jacket.
like, oh, I'm going to shoot my vest if I kill him right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin that. And we do have to kind of wrap up our discussion of the mid-season
What
finale.
about Ezekiel, real quick?
There's two people we got to talk about.
Yeah.
Ezekiel and Maggie, I think, are having drastic changes in the way their characters are.
Oh.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that, I had a hard
Maggie
time
is
getting over
getting
Shiva.
things done.
Oh, Shiva.
Yeah, that was
CGI
sad.
or no, that killed
Yeah.
me.
But like, okay, let's think about Ezekiel, dead or alive.
Oh, definitely alive.
I
Alive.
think he's alive.
Carol's got to
Um,
get some.
I just want to say Gavin looks like he's just exhausted,
Oh,
man. Like he
dude.
does not want to do this.
He hates this. He's hated this
He's,
from
like,
the very
begging,
first second. Like,
He was like begging them to like just please give him up. I want to not do this
Yeah.
today, guys. Please.
that
Can we
was the
just-
nicest I'd ever seen Gavin.
Yeah,
he made a
he's-
comment to Ezekiel, like right after Ezekiel closed the gates on him too. He was like, I always liked you, Ezekiel. Like even then, when he realized he'd been like massively betrayed, he
Yep.
still didn't even have the heart to come down on the guy.
Do you
Yeah.
guys think Gavin could turn and be on their
Well,
side?
Gavin was the one on that scaffolding
Next
who
to
was
that,
like,
maybe.
"Can we take a timeout?"
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when Rick showed up. So Gavin's like on the fence as far as
I think that a lot of them could turn, and I think because I was fully expecting a perspective. The saviors are pretty brutal, but they're also terrorized by this man who's leading them. What if they're just a lot of scared people? They're just fighting for survival.
some of them, yes, but not that savior who pissed himself on purpose.
Jared,
The one who's
or
gonna
whatever his
shoot
name
Jesus,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
God.
the long-haired douchebag. I don't like him.
Well, who's the guy that's who's actually very nice, who I trust? He's in the cage with
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
everybody
he's-
else.
yeah.
I don't know what his name is. Is
Yeah.
he
He's,
He's got a kind face.
he's
He's
like
cool.
Josh or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe a lot of them are like that.
So I'm hoping. I love Ezekiel. I love King Ezekiel, and we don't have to discuss the comic. But for those who know the comic, Ezekiel's not in a good place right this very second in the comic books. But,
Okay.
but I'm hoping that the comic does diverge, and they have done that with some characters.
we'll
because they have talked about the comic as it relates to Ezekiel. I don't want to give that part away.
Yeah,
But they have
I know what you're talking about.
They've mentioned it multiple times, Ezekiel and certain things that happened to him
Yeah.
a couple of times, and they keep
Yeah,
on
they made a
hinting at it.
reference.
They keep hinting at it.
Which you ruined because you're like, oh, this may happen.
I was so upset. I just opened up Facebook and all of a sudden I saw a picture which represented like this terrible, traumatic experience that Ezekiel will have to experience eventually, and I'm like, why is someone putting this on there? I don't want to see that.
Don't ever
Yeah,
Google
people are pretty.
anything
Yeah, there's
about
ways
the
to
That's
do
like
that.
a
That's
mission
so
for some
mean.
people
Yeah.
too. I remember like on Sunday night we got like emails from people who were like just trying to shoot the spoiler right into our face.
Yeah.
Why would someone do
Here's
that?
this
Like
closed caption
aggressively.
document. Like, we've repeatedly said we don't want spoilers,
Right.
and it's like
Yeah.
there are people who just want it. They just can't.
Had to ban a couple
Hold it
people on
in.
Facebook.
They want to
because of
watch
that.
the world burn. That's just the
Yeah.
All right,
way
so
it is.
we do have about 5 minutes left here, but we have to get to Maggie. Maggie
Oh, man.
made some hard choices. Maggie was, man, that scene with her in the truck. That was surprising to me when they came up and bam.
I was surprised Simon gave her a deal. Like I thought they wanted
did
her
too.
dead.
Yeah,
I thought that
that
was the
was-
whole point. This is the widow, the king, and Rick.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, you can go home." It's like, "Oh, okay, all right."
My theory on that is that because of the fact that Gregory is such a spineless coward,
Yeah.
that it would actually be better to let Maggie live because she would be able to run that community the best in order to produce for the
Right.
Saviors. And Gregory just has no idea what he's doing.
Nope.
So,
Oh, yeah.
like,
I
they're
like
like,
that.
okay, I guess we'll let her live because, she'll grow more crops for us or whatever.
Is she still
That's
pregnant?
the only reason.
I mean,
Well,
it doesn't
when
seem
is she
like
going to
it.
start showing?
Exactly. I'm like, and
Yeah, it's
she's
been
been
a
through a
while
lot
now.
of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that baby.
It would,
Yeah, I'm
that
too.
would be really unrealistic that baby's okay. I mean, his mama's blowing up. Shit. Don't
Jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
Simon actually seemed kind of tired too.
Wouldn't that be awful if the other
Yeah.
cross that Rick is standing over in the first episode turned out to be like Maggie's unborn child?
Oh, good gracious.
Oh my God. You need Jesus. In your life.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's like Brad's on the show.
Just a
I know.
thought. It was just
By the
a
way,
thought.
Brad did text us. He said that he's been reading that a lot of people are saying that they were actually slowly killing all the characters that they loved, and it was like a slow, painful twist of the knife to watch now sometimes.
I barely got over Glenn, and I had to deal with that. So I,
I
had
think
to
they
walk out of
slowed
the
down
room.
a lot since.
I think
that
they've slowed down the
first
killing quite a
episode.
bit. They have, and
Yeah.
I was expecting several people to die in one episode because they're like everybody's going to be shocked and
Yep.
Well,
about this episode.
someone else is gonna be buried next to Carl.
Yeah, that other
'Cause,
grave
yeah,
is
Rick was-
unidentified still. So
Who do you
That'll
guys
be the
think it would
season
be?
finale.
Probably.
Maybe we'll like not see who actually dies in the season finale, and it'll be halfway through the next season when they show us who it is.
Come on, Carl, we're pulling for you.
I'm
Don't-
still
do.
not over that.
Don't
What
got-
they do.
All right, so
Carl rolls under a dumpster. He's fine. We find that out next episode.
but if you actually read, it sounds like from listening to reading the Hollywood Reporter, Carl's story is
It's done.
done.
He says blatantly that his
it's
character
coming.
is dying.
His story's not done until the next episode, though.
Yeah,
he's got
sure.
to impart some
That's true.
wisdom to his father, so his father can carry
And
on.
great acting according to The Talking Dead.
Yeah,
Great performance by him.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And how do
Yeah.
you think Rick is still going to have that fire in him now that his...
No, I think it's gonna take the wind out of his
I do.
sails.
Well,
No, he said on the walkie, he's like, "You're next, you're dead," or something
mean,
like that. On
but you
Yeah.
saw the prediction of Hollywood Reporter. They had a big prediction. They think how it's going to end this year.
They did.
No more Rick.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't buy that one for a second.
Okay, if that
that is
happens...
not
I can
gonna
lose
happen.
just about everybody but Rick.
Yeah, come
Rick's
on.
gone.
It's
out.
in the
his show.
sneak
No,
preview-
Carol. If Carol goes, I'm gone.
Really?
Yeah.
In the preview footage at the end of the
flowers.
episode, they show Rick and he's got the murder coat on, which he hasn't worn in like a season and a half. And they only have him wear that when he's about to kill a bunch of people. So I mean, and he's got his gun. He's like a secret agent looking around the thing. He'll
The
be
murder
fine.
code.
He'll
the
get
murder
over
code.
it.
That's awesome.
I never noticed that before.
All right. So as we finish up the show, guys, this has been a fantastic discussion. Having you three on here tonight has been just an amazing way to
you.
talk
Thank you.
about the
Thank you so
mid-season
much.
finale.
Flattered. Very
So, but as we end the show tonight, can you hold that up right there? No, this right here.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, Brad, thanks for bringing this to our attention. Right here we go.
How about I hold it here?
All right. So, anyways, this is the New York Times Magazine this past week. They're calling this the year of horror. The year of horror. They're talking about 2017. And earlier this year, they published an article calling 2017 the biggest year in horror history.
Interesting.
Definitely money-wise. But can we talk? Let's go through and just as we wrap. This is that start of the year of horror, and that was just an amazing
Yeah,
movie.
Get Out.
Get Out.
That's featured
Awesome.
here.
So let's talk. What's the best thing about horror this year in film, in the movies, according to you guys? And go. Go faster.
A lot of different directions, a lot of different avenues.
They're actually making people think.
Yeah.
And there's a
What-
lot more psychological horror coming out, which I love. I'm not a big, Saw person or anything like that. But
Yeah.
when they play with your head, that's everything.
Like, I appreciate good, complex storytelling
Yeah.
stuff that's just really fascinating. And I really liked it. I'm not a
I was
huge
just
horror
gonna
fan
bring it
myself,
up.
but
Yeah.
it was
Loved
fascinating.
it.
There were
was
3 or
good.
4 great big giant horror films that kind of like changed things this year. They were at the beginning of the year we had Get Out, which was just a game changer.
That was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it was just-
phenomenal.
And I'm not good at Easter eggs or anything like that. That's why I tend to ask so many questions, because I'll miss them. But with Get Out, I picked up a lot, and I don't know if that's because I'm black. Which was I'm serious.
I laughed through most of it.
Because
Wait,
you know
wait.
we've all been through that.
Yeah,
So
it's
we've
like-
all you speak so well. Well, thank you. Yeah, what? I'm walking my hind legs too. I'm doing pretty good. But like when the ticket thing, when she stopped the boyfriend from getting the ticket, I didn't trust her from the start.
I didn't trust her
Oh,
because
you
she was
didn't?
knocking on the door with her fucking
She
head.
was too
Who does
too
that?
liberal. When you get the people that are too liberal, like I'm really down with
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Those are the ones you gotta watch
yeah.
out
Well,
for.
the dad
And I
kept
said-
saying,
To use her
And
face
I-
as a door knocker,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a red flag.
And I said to myself, and I found out later it was true, that she did not want a paper trail when she snatched his ass.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what that was. I was like, oh, she's stopping to hit. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
and by the way, real quick, I got to warn everybody: we are giving away some spoilers
Oh,
here.
yeah,
so-
spoilers.
Oh.
Spoilers.
But I do
Too late.
request, please don't give away the end of Split. I have not
Oh, that
seen
was
it.
a-
Loved Split
Ooh.
too.
I haven't seen the end yet, but I
haven't seen it yet, okay.
Well,
Why? What happened?
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh, the whole.
okay.
I thought you meant
James
just the end.
McAvoy is incredible.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
He-
awesome.
There are moments where he
It's
does
awesome.
he does
He
not say
deserves
a
a
word, and you
nomination.
can tell
Yeah.
what personality he's going into.
He
That's
flips
all I'll say.
between them. There's like several scenes where he actually flips between like 4 or 5 of them all in one take. Like
Yeah.
it's one continuous
And you can
shot.
tell
and
which
he
one it
goes
is.
and-
He's
yeah.
brilliant.
Just from the
It's
eyes.
insane.
Yeah,
Like his
and
whole
at
At the
body
end, his head
transforms.
actually splits open.
Oh, hey,
And then that's it.
Anthony's talking. What'd you say, Anthony?
Yeah, and I said at the end, his head actually splits open.
Is he saying?
He's
No,
messing with
Jim,
you.
he's messing with you.
He's
Okay.
messing
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anthony!
I'm kidding.
He's the one sending
It's
you
completely
An
spoilers.
alien crawls out of him.
He's sending you spoilers.
Is
That's what he's
he
doing.
one of the people that was emailing
fake
us trying to spoil
spoilers.
The Walking Dead?
Yes.
on Sunday?
No, Anthony's one of the biggest horror fans, and if he hasn't seen it, it probably hasn't been shot yet.
Yeah.
So
And I've been a big fan of foreign horror lately. I've been looking
Oh,
for.
foreign. Yeah,
So
we've been watching
Them.
like the Babadook was.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Babadook was good. You
Oh.
guys should, if you haven't seen a movie called Them, it's a French horror film that's incredible. It all takes place in one night, and that's all I'll say. Along with Train to Busan.
Oh, you must see.
Anthony and Kari have both been talking about that. Hey, Anthony, do you have any suggestions for some of the best horror films of this year for you?
Get Out Split was really great. I saw It Comes at Night. I thought was fantastic. I'm still waiting to see Killing of a Sacred Deer.
I've not even heard of that
That's
one.
supposed to be pretty good with the same director that did The Lobster.
Okay, that's cool.
Kidman.
Creep is a good one too. Creep and Tusk.
Right, there's
Those
Creep.
are
There's
just
also
good
Creep 2 that's coming out soon as
okay.
well.
And you guys were talking about on Netflix, Babysitter.
Oh, The Babysitter was so good.
Okay,
I gotta say that's like
anything
one of my
with a
favorite.
babysitter's always
I just
good, right?
forgot about that, but I think that's
That
one of my
was
favorite horror
so
movies
bizarre.
of
Okay.
the,
Gerald's Game?
2017.
Seriously?
Speaking of Netflix ones, Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game
Based
is
on
on.
a Stephen
watched it.
King
I've-
novel.
Did that go well?
It's Netflix, so it's like hard to
Sometimes
tell.
his books don't translate well to screen.
Yeah.
And
I really
It
liked
and
it.
Misery
What was that?
are the
What was-
only two, in my opinion, that did.
What was that
The
Christmas
rest
one?
are awful.
Christmas
Yeah.
one?
With the babysitter.
And it is completely
Oh.
different than a book, but you'll love it as well.
Better watch out.
Yeah, better
Yes,
watch out.
better
Better
watch
watch
I've
out.
been wanting to watch
Thank
that
you.
as well. I'm trying to catch that tomorrow
Don't
morning.
watch the trailer
good.
for it.
Yeah,
Just
don't-
watch the movie.
Is it
trailer-
Netflix?
The trailer
No.
literally spoils the whole movie.
Yeah,
It's
don't-
really bizarre.
Oh.
Don't
Don't
watch
watch
the
the
trailer.
trailer.
I don't.
It's the worst
It's the
trailer
strangest
ever.
thing.
Oh.
Like whoever made it, like
Just
they
watch
gave
it,
away the whole.
We're gonna have an
movie.
episode one of these times about how trailers are ruining movies these days. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
They
like-
really are.
And they're
That's
really
crazy.
long too,
Yeah.
which doesn't help.
All right, television. When we talk about horror on TV, what are some of the best things that happened this year? Walking Dead. Yes, I know that
As always.
you had
It's
different.
it's coming back around.
coming back
again.
around.
It might bring me back in.
He's
We'll
not
see.
a. Derek, what else?
Bates Motel. We talked about it on our Con Guys show, but Bates Motel was really good. It was the epic ending to the show. Kind of took a different direction, brought in the psycho origins of the movie, and kind of did some different things on that, and then also kind of changed things up a little bit.
Did
But
any of you guys watch that series?
We didn't see it. No.
It was just so elegant
Yeah.
and beautiful.
We'll have
and
to check it out.
wow.
Is it gone now? Is it
Yeah,
done?
5 years and it's
He has
done.
a new thing going on, the kid.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Freddie
Yeah,
Highmore's
the
on
Good
the
Doctor.
doctor.
he's now a
Oh
dad.
look, you got something on your shirt.
Oh, little
Oh,
TV
Stranger
shirt.
Things.
Stranger Things, of
Yeah.
course. Season 2.
Yeah.
Stranger Things season 2, which I think
Yeah, it's a very small niche audience, cult following.
Yeah,
you
not
know,
a lot of
no,
people.
but, yeah,
They've
I'm
never
just
saw
probably
into
never
Shark
that
Target.
and Punisher.
I
so.
loved it. I loved. Oh wait, I love Stranger Things. Apparently, it's not season 3 is not coming till 2019. Yeah, they've announced,
Wasn't quite
Why do
enough
they
of
make-
this though.
and they're doing a
Them
time
all
jump.
Hanging out.
Why do they make it so long in between?
Because they're
that?
Netflix and they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
Messed up.
Exactly. What else? You said Punisher.
Punisher.
It's
I'm,
not-
I'm just beginning Punisher and Stranger Things,
And
actually.
would you consider that horror or?
No, I'd say that's more like
It's action drama.
I have
It's action
some
drama, but I guess I think of any kind of ill-ease as some
Yeah.
kind of a horror, because sometimes you're just all tensed up and you don't even know why. That
is a
to me
tense
can
show.
be
Yeah.
it's a different kind of horror. I would
I'd say The Sinner, which is not like
Oh,
direct
it's
horror,
so
but it's more
good.
psychological.
I've heard about
thriller.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Really
only
great.
8 episodes. It's only one season.
Is that the one with
Who stars
Jessica
in that?
Biel?
Jessica Biel and Bill
Okay.
Pullman.
Bill Pullman
On USA
yeah.
Network,
Oh,
right?
Jessica got a
Phenomenal.
job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of enjoying those
love
limited
her.
run things though, like because it's almost like a long movie. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. You don't need
Well,
12
it's like
seasons.
back when we had miniseries on television.
like a miniseries, yeah.
And you'd get long ones, and
Can
then
I-
like in the around the '90s, they'd only do 2 nights.
I'm not
going to
date myself.
Can
on
I
that
do some
one.
quick fire?
What's that, Anthony?
Can I do some quick fire TV shows that I'm trying to that I can remember off the top of my head?
Yeah, yeah.
So we had Lore, which was the first podcast that was adapted
that's
into
interesting.
a TV
I've
show.
seen a
I
couple
was going to
episodes.
mention that too.
That
The
was
Robert
good.
the Doll episode.
Robert the
was-
Doll from Key West was as creepy as heck. Episode.
Yeah, I would
Well, the true
suggest-
story is creepy.
Yeah.
I would suggest listening to the podcast as well and watching the episodes. That was great. There's also been Channel Zero from Sci-Fi that did a 6-episode arc, like another story.
I didn't see any of that. Was that good?
I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the first season that they did, and I liked it. It was based off of a creepypasta called Candle Cove.
Oh yeah.
It was really good. As well as they did, Netflix just recently released Dark, and that's a German horror like suspenseful thriller.
I showed you the trailer for this.
Just
Yeah.
German horror, I'm in. I
Yeah,
guess.
I've heard it said like it's like a cross between like Stranger Things and something more adult on like an adult level.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah.
There's also Lucky that just came out. That's on
Lucky?
Sci-Fi. It's supposed to be based off a comic book. And
Yep, I saw
Can
that.
you write all these down for me?
Oh no, not lucky.
No,
Not
I wanna
lucky.
listen.
Sorry
They're on
about
the
that.
show.
It's called Happy. Sorry.
Happy.
Happy. Yeah.
But that's with Maloney, right?
Maloney. Yeah.
I love Chris
And
Maloney.
Oh,
Christopher
yeah.
Maloney in the CGI unicorn.
little-
or
Yeah,
something?
played by
Unicorn
Patton
thing.
Oswalt.
Yeah.
I've
Patton
loved him
Oswalt.
since Oz. If you guys remember Oz.
But hey, did anyone watch
That's what I
American Horror Story this year?
I did
Oh,
not.
I
yes.
covered the
I didn't
after
finish
show.
It. I didn't finish it.
Oh, you didn't finish
I
it?
got like halfway through.
What were you? Did you? What were you thinking?
No, I didn't finish that because I didn't like it. I just haven't gotten around
Yeah.
to it. But like, I really, it's very different. It's not supernatural. At least it wasn't when I stopped. And the first episode itself was pretty. The first 10 minutes was pretty horrifying for me because it brought back terrible flashbacks.
But I heard it started with the presidential election, but then
Election
it,
night,
but then it
yeah.
went on from there. Like it kind of like followed it, and
Like pockets of cults. It's very believable to what's our current social climate. I'm sorry. That's why it's so terrifying.
Don't apologize for it. You're
Speaking-
absolutely right.
Speaking of ones that are like politically based, this one's kind of off the wall, but I'm gonna call it horror just because the concept is so terrifying to me. A Handmaid's Tale.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's another. Oh.
It is the most screwed up concept ever.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. But can I ask you guys a question? So today was it today or yesterday? The Golden Globes were announced, and the lead actor in Get Out. What is his name?
Oh,
Oh, it's probably.
It's right here. He was nominated. And guess in which category? Best actor in a comedy or musical.
What?
Oh,
What?
dude,
Can
that's
someone
ridiculous.
can someone please tell me what that is supposed to mean?
Was he in something else?
No,
Yeah.
Why
for
would
this.
Why would they put?
For this.
We need to overthrow the
while
award
it's true,
shows.
I laughed for most of that film because like
Yeah.
I get it.
There is
but,
no comedy musical anywhere.
But I think it's because they have
Except
a
for the-
weird way they do
Yeah,
their
well, that's the
award
same
system.
thing they did with The
that could
Martian.
have been.
Yep, The
Yeah.
Martian was nominated as a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay,
there are
so
a
they
couple
did that
things
with
in it that
other
make you
ones.
laugh. That's it, basically.
well, yeah, the best
The best friend was
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody knows that guy.
While I think it doesn't fit, I will admit I was like the only person in the theater laughing my ass off at that movie.
I gotta go see more movies with you.
Well, I was always wondering if I were white, how would I have felt watching that
all
with
the,
someone
all the
who
white
was
people were
white?
terrified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like,
No.
"Can we laugh at this?
Well,
Can
no,
we?"
no, there were parts
No,
of
no,
it.
they-
Yeah.
Like you feel like, oh, this
Yeah.
is so like but
Or is it
like
just
like
tense?
you said though, like I think it was so well done because it was terrifying regardless.
Yeah.
Just the feeling of isolation, being the outsider, being made to feel like the outsider in a place, and you're like, wait, I thought we were all good,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I don't.
And I I love the
Is she like,
father.
what is
No,
it?
I'm laughing because like,
I laughed when the dad kept saying that he would vote for Obama
Yeah.
for a third term if he could, like 5 times.
Oh,
just
yeah.
over and
Yeah, that
over.
stuff made me laugh.
How many
That
times
made
have
me
you heard
laugh.
that
Yeah.
too?
That was so shit. You and me, we're good. You
my
know
mom
why?
was my mom
I
was the
would vote
best
for Obama.
friend.
Oh, okay.
She was warning me the first time I went over to his house. Like,
Yeah.
well, wait.
And I love the
I need to
father.
drive.
What's the father's
Oh,
name?
I can never remember his name, but he was in.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, Martin
He was in
Sheen.
Studio 60.
No, not Martin Sheen.
No, no,
No,
that's right.
The father in Get Out. I love him.
Was
He's
he
been
on
in
the
so many
West
things
Wing
that
or
I love.
something?
Yeah.
I think so, and he
Bradley
was in
Whitford.
Studio 60.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. Brett.
Thanks.
Yes, he's
Why
incredible.
am I thinking Martin Sheen was the president? That's the why I was thinking. All right, so we do have to finish up, guys, real quick. Any of your most favorite experiences this past year as in the horror genre? Because like either a haunted house, a convention, anything that kind of like stands out as something that was kind of cool this year.
It was an experience. Like it wasn't just a film. It was definitely an experience. Like it's horror, but it's also drama driven too. And there was like a lot of realistic elements within it. So
Plus
psychologically,
Plus his
yeah.
voice, just that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
high-pitched, weird tone that he kept
Can you
taking.
do it?
Do
was
it,
just-
do it.
Like, can you do it?
Do it.
Do it.
I'm better at the
Do you want it back?
Like, no.
What about you, Derek?
I actually this year went back and watched some of the classic horror films I'd never seen, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Pet Sematary, Children of the Corn. I saw all of those this year.
Nice.
Several of them just in the last few weeks, actually.
I want to go down that road.
Oh, wow.
There's a new Pet and it was so well done. And I guess we can expect something maybe equally as big, probably not that big for Pet Cemetery. It comes out in 2 years.
Yeah,
What they're
I-
doing?
A
Pet
new
Cemetery?
Pet Cemetery.
Really?
Well, they have to. It was awful.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
read the
death is
book.
better.
It was so bad.
I read that book too, and it
Yeah.
did not live up to the book. But
No.
there was a couple scenes that were Like
Yeah.
the back diseased lady. Oh,
That was creepy.
And the
The
Flash
kid- let
is
me
going
just-
to
I've
be in it,
never actually
right? They're going to do a Justice League crossover with Pet Cemetery.
Oh, that'd be great.
Let me just tell you, they made the kid way too cute after death. That was
Yeah, that was weird.
one thing. The way he is in the book, that's all I got to say.
I've only seen
It's
clips of it. I've never actually
horrifying.
seen
And
the
sorry, if
movie.
I see Denise Crosby, I think Tasha Yar, she's gonna die. So
I
it's no
agree.
surprise.
I know. Star Trek. For me, one of my best experiences of the year was Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. I thought it was the best event of the year as far as like events. But I got to give a really close second place to Not Spray Farm out here. Kari, who's usually on the show with us, she took us and she showed us like a crazy good time at that. It's so
heard
much
it's
fun.
good.
It was scary. It was scary fun.
And they had creative ways of doing the attractions with, like, you take a flashlight in, or you have a gun that you're actually shooting zombies, which was kind of a new experience doing haunted houses that you normally don't get.
all right.
The premiere of The Walking Dead was also great. They made an experience.
Yeah?
They made it more interactive than the first one, and they had like walkers walking around, and
They had
Irony Singleton?
He's T-Dog,
T-Dog?
like, outside, like talking to all of us,
Amazing
just
host.
in
Oh, wow.
the normal common area.
I saw a
like,
picture
mean,
of you
just-
guys with them.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
cleared that up because I thought his name was Irony, and I was like, no, please.
Yeah. I said it
Please,
like
dear
that too at first.
So where,
Mr. Singleton.
where was the premiere?
Where was
Where was it?
Yeah.
It was at Greek Theater.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
Yeah, and so actually, you know what? That's probably the moment that I like my favorite moment when he like turned around and actually said that he recognized us. And I was like,
who you guys are.
Yeah, that's a good moment.
You know
That's
who
cool.
I am.
That's
You're a
cool.
real star. It's like, that was just so cool for me. I don't know.
Cheeseman or Candy, do you guys have anything before we close? We got to wrap up here.
Again, for me, Get Out and Train to Busan.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
saw it this year, but
So good.
when the credits come up, you finally relax. You don't even
So
realize
good.
that you're on edge the whole time.
Fantastic
it's
ending.
It
yeah,
has
it's
one of the best endings of any
yeah.
horror movie I've
beginning
ever
to
seen.
end, nonstop action. Couldn't beat it.
Everyone's talking. I got to see this.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
see
see
this. Cheeseman?
And I'm also jumping on the It wagon. It was great. I enjoyed the movie, the experiences.
Oh, did you do the
whole
It
VR
experience?
thing.
There was an
Pretty
experience.
cool. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you get in
what
the
is it?
bus and they had like virtual reality. You're going down in the
Oh,
sewer,
wow.
into the house and all that. And it is close. It's just
I
not
just can't
turned
hear.
off. But
Oh, did they have the
man.
house up and everything? Was that Hollywood and
yeah,
Vine?
I did
Sunset?
the
Yep,
house
yep.
and the
I
saw
VR
it.
experience,
Okay.
and I saw the movie. So just everything around it was a lot of fun. And then one other cool thing I did,
wow.
and Jim also did, is see John Carpenter live on
Oh,
Halloween,
wow.
like play his music and everything.
Nice.
And
It was pretty epic.
Anthony, you did something pretty cool this year, horror-wise. What was it?
Actually, I got a surprise for you, but yeah, I'll share the one you're talking about right now. I got to see one of my horror icons. He's my favorite horror director, John Carpenter.
Yep.
Oh,
I got
nice.
I got to see him live, and I got some autographs by him and everything.
That's cool.
Very cool.
But just this Saturday, actually, I went to go see The Shape of Water
Oh, that looks so good.
by my all-time favorite director, Guillermo del
Toro.
Toro, and he
Yeah.
means so much to me. Me being a Mexican American
Mm-hmm.
here in America, and then him being a Mexican director, he's influenced my love for cinema ever since I saw Pan's Labyrinth in just a after-school program one day for the people the teacher put it on just to shut us up, and it shut me up.
Yeah.
And
Pan's Labyrinth?
yeah,
In school?
Yep, I know,
that's
right?
a little adult.
But if you look at the screen, I was actually
Oh,
able,
look! This was this weekend?
on
my
Saturday
God.
night. I was,
wow.
Congratulations, Anthony. That's awesome.
That's
That's
awesome.
really cool.
yeah.
Where'd you meet him?
So after the screening, he kind of got out. It was at the
By the way, we're looking at a picture of Anthony with the Guillermo del
Yes.
Toro.
we got
Oh
it
my
was at the
God.
Sherman Oaks. I mean ArcLight at Hollywood ArcLight. Sorry, at the
Yeah.
Dome. That's where they had it. They had a Q&A, and then afterwards, once he was
I
done,
would've loved that.
people kind of rushed him, and he was slowly like getting to his car. And I just waited patiently, and I moved inched myself closer and closer to him.
That's how you do it.
And
Not
then-
creepy at
genuine
all.
smile, and you look a little misty.
Yeah, because while he was signing an autograph, I just looked at him and I told him, Guillermo, I've been waiting 10 years to talk to you,
Oh my gosh.
and I've been waiting 10 years to pay back my debt. That ever since I saw Pan's Labyrinth,
Aw.
that's when my start for
That's
cinema,
awesome.
my love for cinema started, and I've been
Aw.
waiting to pay you back, and I finally get to say thank you so much for everything that you've
That's
done for
cool.
me.
Oh, are you going to see The
awesome.
Shape of Water?
I saw
That's
it
what I was
already.
saying.
Yeah, that was a screening.
That's
for
the
it.
screen.
Oh God.
We saw it 2 nights ago.
Interesting film,
Wow.
yeah.
I cannot
How
think of a
amazing was
better
it?
way to end this special
That's
edition of the Best of
beautiful.
2017. Anthony, that's
Congratulations.
amazing.
Yeah, I cried right in front of him. It was great.
Oh.
And he gave me a hug, and he's like, "You want a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want a picture."
That makes you a real man, baby.
Yeah.
And don't
Yep,
you let
yep.
nobody tell you no different.
He actually took my phone. He took my phone and took pictures with it.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was
so
really
That's
great.
really
I was like in
cool.
shock for the rest of the night.
Oh.
Cool.
Well, that makes it for a Merry Christmas. Well, this is a great episode we've had here. That is the best of 2017, the best horror films, best TV that we've seen. Walking Dead, especially, as one of the better episodes that I've seen in quite some time.
One of my favorite of the series, I think.
I just want to thank you guys for coming on with us tonight. I mean, it's always awesome to have you guys on. Come on as much as you can. I can't wait to hear the stuff you're going to be doing, the stuff you're going to be writing, the stuff you guys are putting together. Let us know what's going on. We would love to follow you.
Absolutely.
Candy, you've been a great guest tonight.
Thank you
You're
so
gonna
much.
come back.
Oh,
You're,
I am?
You're going to come back.
Awesome. I really appreciate it, you guys. I just came to watch my very good friends do their thing, and I was asked to be on,
Yep.
and I'm flattered and happy and
Thank you
blessed
for
and all
coming.
that. Thank you.
I'll just
You
say,
guys, go ahead.
oh, shout out to Alpha Depot in Hollywood for reuniting me with, well, Candy and Luke. That's right.
Damn.
And that's the counter I'm referring to.
All right, thank you guys very much for watching the show tonight. This is this is the
Scare Guys
The
show.
Scare Guys
Scare Guy Show. This is the ScareGuy.com. Please check us out. Subscribe to the show here. We got some Ghostbusters coming on. You can find me at Con Guy Jim. And everybody else, tell us where we can find you guys and what's going on.
My name's Derek. You can find me when I actually use Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
Jill Roby, and you can find all of my stuff at www.thelivingrishon.com or www.houseoffangirl.com.
Nice.
Brandon Orban Griggs, www.thelivingrishon.com, and also facebook.com/thelivingrishon.
All right.
Oh, I'm Candy. You can find me on my living room couch until I'm through with my vacation. But when and if they have me back, I will announce everything that's coming.
Well, you're coming back. I can't wait
Thank
to
you
have
very
you back
much.
Awesome. And I'm Cheeseman on the couch. You can find me on the ScareGuy.com and at ConGuyLuke on Twitter.
on. Thank you guys so much. It's been a great year in horror. I just hope next year gets even better. All right. You guys, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, and not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.